Hi, thanks for joining us once again at the Bookshelf. This is my wife Heather, I'm Kyle, and we have another great book in store for you this month. We're looking at God Has a Wonderful Plan for Your Life by Ray Comfort.
This is a book about evangelism, but not really about how to evangelize, or here are 4 steps for talking to someone, but it's really examining the content of the gospel message and making sure that when we present the gospel to people, we are explaining a full picture of the gospel.
Yeah, that's right. He's really reacting against what he calls the modern message, and that is that God has a wonderful plan for your life, so accept Jesus. That's not really what it's all about, and we are not giving them the fuller picture, and we're making promises that the Bible doesn't make. Mm-hmm. We're promising them that just accept Jesus, give God a try, and He's going to make your life better. You'll see, and that's not really what He promised. I mean, He's promised us suffering and trials, and that's not what these people signed up for. So he really he takes a step back and he says, we're starting at the wrong place. And so he says where we need to start is with the law. That God is our creator, and that as our creator, He has the right to be our lawgiver, and He's given us this law, and yet as humans, we've all failed. We've all come short of God's glory. We have all sinned against Him, and as a result, we all stand condemned, and we are just recipients of God's wrath. And when we paint that picture, when we realize that I am guilty before God and I have nothing to stand on, then the gospel of Christ shines so much more beautifully. That's a much bigger deal than God has a wonderful plan for our life. It's God is taking my place. He died in my place for my sins so that I don't have to spend eternity in hell, but I can rather be with Him forever in heaven. And that is great news.
We really liked his explanation of what we present when we present the gospel and the arguments that he made for starting with the law. I thought he was very clear when he presented it, and it's not even a very long book, probably about 100 pages. It's very easy to read. So those were some things that we liked about it. A couple of the hesitations that we had were mostly in the very beginning, in the first couple chapters, and I think it's because he's reacting so much against the modern message that it almost comes across that he's overstating some things. And for me, I just had to keep in mind that he is reacting against a specific message, a specific thing, and he's not making a statement about all of Christianity, but he's really just reacting against one aspect. And so I think if you just keep that in mind, that'll be really helpful in those first couple chapters.
Yeah, he starts developing his positive argument about his point in chapter 4, and he does a great job from chapter 4 on, but those first 3 chapters, like Heather said, I think he just overstated some things, and I really came away with the feeling that, well, does the gospel make any difference in my life, or does Jesus only count when I'm dead? And I totally agree with him that we don't get saved because Jesus is going to make us wealthy. He's going to make our lives easy. But I do believe that the gospel does make a difference in our lives, even if that's not where we should start our evangelism. And that's what we got to remember, that this is an evangelism book.
Right, because he would agree with you. I don't think he would say that the gospel doesn't affect our daily lives.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, Ray's not saying that. As I read that was the impression that I got, because he was reacting so strongly, and it's just because he's passionate about that. So it's not really a negative so much on his part, but just be careful and keep that in mind as you're reading it, that's not what he's saying. But it could be taken that way if we don't keep his point in mind. So I do recommend this book. It was a great book. It's a book that you should have on your bookshelf. But just keep that in mind about the first 3 chapters.
A great book. Put it on your bookshelf. Thanks.